kujipanua kimaisha tafadhali. Yeah? And that's what we are delving into, and we are speaking to Sylvia Gatti, who's a journalist. She has been here before, alongside a new face as well, Grace Kioko. She's a youth advocate. Karibuni sana.
Asante.
Do we still say Happy New Year? By the way, I've been arguing with a lot of friends. Wakisema Happy New Year imeisha kabisa, like don't even say it on the third week of Jan. But there's those who are like, acha ienda hata hadi Feb. Yeah. Hata March.
You know.
Yeah, they are still afresh. Yeah.
Okay.
Still fresh.
I feel like the issue of Happy New Year really depends with the kind of generation you are in. For us, Gen Z, at this particular time, we're done with it. Yeah. I mean, Happy New Year ilishaisha. But for people like our parents, they can still say Happy New Year till December. Like, as long as it's still the New Year, it still applies.
So Happy New Year. Yeah. Yeah. But now, speaking of Happy New Year, this year we're anticipating good things. I'll start off with you, Grace. In terms of the encounters that we've seen, especially with the Gen Zs being vocal on social media, I hear they want to switch on something and off, but they're saying it's not going to work. They'll switch it off and not switch it off again. When you look at the youth and what they're doing on digital media, in terms of TikTok is like a whole country. It's like a different world right here in Kenya. Yeah. Especially you go there at midnight and you wonder like, what usually happens? I never see these people during the day, but during the night, people are doing a lot on social media. So what have you observed that you'd say is changing, is life changing to the young people, and even you as well at large, before I get to Sylvia?
Well, first of all, thank you for this opportunity. One, I believe that whatever Gen Z is doing is actually good. Yeah. Because we can see a lot of things are changing, we can see a lot of development. We can see that we are now vocal about our wants and needs as Gen Zs. We can see that at least we are being heard.
Yeah.
You know, at least we're getting to be seen. You know, yeah, like we're no longer oppressed, and I feel like that's a big move.
Right. Yeah. Because it's not happened before, where you see young people saying cancel it, we don't want it, and actually it's done.
It's done.
Yeah, and the change is felt even with the other generations. Yeah.
Yes. And you even see our own parents say, nini chenye mmefanya, it is good.
Yes.
You know, you're helping us a lot, because I feel like they were oppressed. They didn't have a voice, but we came off as a new generation and said, you know what, enough is enough of this.
Yeah. I'm coming to you, Sylvia, shortly. When you look at that in terms of now, let's say, individual personal change, do you think maybe such a communal, let's say, communal kind of activism is helping to contribute to now the personal lives of these Gen Zs? Because there's a lot of them who are very prominent on social media, who are still the likes of Kasmal Makori. Some of them are doing incredible work, like Wanjiru Minor, yeah. And they are growing actually in their forte, yeah. Do you believe it's contributing to personal self-growth of these young minds, or ilikuwa tu season ya watu it was a move before I get to say
I feel like yes, it has contributed to a lot, personally and also communally. It is a very good thing. Yeah, I believe that, like I said before, us raising our voices means a lot to the society and also to you personally. I feel like when it boosts your confidence, you as a person. I'm in a generation that can speak out. I'm in a generation that can, that can say, you know what, we've had enough of being jobless. We've had enough of not having enough skills and knowledge. We need to be better as a generation, And also you as a person, you feel like, okay, things are working.
Yeah, and
if
my
they can
voice
speak,
really matters.
I can speak, and my voice,
yes,
I can be heard, I can be seen, I am seen, in fact.
Yeah. Unwanted. Sylvia, what do you think of the same in reaction to even your experience as well?
I feel like we as Gen Zs coming out and speaking out our minds, the fact that we know our worth, we know what exactly we want for ourselves. So I feel like there's power in social media because it's through the social media that we got to influence each other and to get ourselves on the streets. And then after doing that, I believe that everyone went home, did a personal introspection, and was like, is this the country that I want for myself in the next 5 years to come? Of course, it gets down to you, and you're making a personal decision that me as a person, come 2027, I'm going to pick that voter's card, and I'm going to do exactly what I'm supposed to do for the change of myself and the future as well.
Right.
So I believe that as a whole thing has shaped us as individuals as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, it was kind of like a walk come to Jesus moment, where the Gen Zs were the salvation or were the saving grace of these other generations, and I think that moment will forever be historical. Yeah.
True.
And I don't know if you believe so.
Yeah, I do believe that, because at this point, everywhere you go, you'll always hear someone say, you seem like a Gen Z. You see, like it has already created that space of Gen Z. We are none of a specific type, or rather, we are none of not accepting, mediocrity, and we are ready to hold people accountable. And I feel this is another challenge.
And not afraid.
Yeah, we're not afraid. Even when you get to these work fields, you get that when you see our bosses trying to, do things which are not, which are kind of oppressing us, we always speak out. And for some reason,
the Gen Z memes are on TikTok. Oh, I'm loving it. Yeah.
It's creating a safe space for us, and it's giving us that empowerment to step up to be who we are meant to be exactly.
And now, like, social media has just come in. I hope they won't do anything that touches on it, because they were saying that is the main Murima, If it gets guzwad, it's done, it's a wrap.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me, I believe that the whole thing of Gen Z has brought very big change in the society right now, and I believe that going forward, things are not going to be the same.
Yeah. True. Let's shift this to career, because we also live in a generation, and you'll react to it as well, Grace, still on Sylvia. We live in a world where I think social media has it eased or made just, like, it makes the world look so tiny. Those celebrities way back that, you would read about them on newspapers, right now you can follow them on IG and see them go live, and you're like, I'm just coming from a session where I've been interacting with, Samuel L. Jackson, or the Beyoncés and the Jay-Z's and the Rihanna. You can see them in this live, or TikTok or Instagram or whichever platform, and now you can add in artificial intelligence. So it's like technology has made things become faster. You can communicate really fast, send a message. You remember during the Gen Zs, it was all social media, people coordinating in states and still doing the same thing happening here, and they're doing it at par, saying the same word, like it was like we are in a whole, one village. So when you look at it in terms of now the workspace, how do you see Gen Zs jet setting themselves in a way that social media is not going to take over their other facets of life? I understand you're tech savvy, you want to post selfies all the time. They call the hashtag is workflow. Whatever Gen Z is into space, they ensure they take a photo and post it in a workflow. There's those Gen Z memes where the boss, like you've said, the boss is trying to say something that you find a little bit too oppressive. You're not comfortable with it. You record it on video as well. I was watching CGTN before I forget. They did this feature. I think they called it loud quitting. Is it loud quitting or cold quitting? Where a Gen Z is quitting a job, but they're recording a video and making sure everybody in that company knows they're quitting, and their life will be better with that job. And it's affecting most corporate institutions. I don't know what you think of the same.
I call that the power of social media. I think if there's one thing that Gen Zs have really mastered is the power of social media.
The internet.
It has really created job opportunities for them. It has also helped them to put their expectations, what they expect when they get to the work field and all that, or in the workspace, So if you can see clearly, right now, most Gen Zs are content creators. They do create content, and they find joy in doing that, because it kind of aligns to their
their needs,
their
and
needs
wants,
and also their interest and passion. Again,
Right.
the fact that they use social media to call out, or rather to do certain things like, you know, addressing issues which are affecting them when it comes to their job spaces. I feel like that's a good thing, because there's this particular time when I saw this lady. She was working, I think, in club in Kilimani, and then it happens that the boss used to bully them, and she came out and she talked about it, and it really went viral. And I believe through that there's something that was done. Because sometimes sometimes people get to be bullied, or rather to be harassed in their workplaces, but they don't get to talk about it. They just sign papers and be like, I'm done with this. But when you go out there and talk about it, other people will feel comfortable coming out and speaking about the same things that they get the confidence to talk about what they're going through in those workspaces. And I believe that helps in keeping these corporate fields accountable, keeping our workspaces healthy. Because honestly speaking, sometimes I can for sure tell you that you can be working somewhere, but the environment is so toxic. So I feel like Gen Zs have really mastered the art of using social media as a tool to speak out and to see what exactly they want for themselves.
And it's actually freeing. It's unburdening. It's like a load has been lifted off. What do you think of the same, Grace?
One thing I love about social media and how we use social media as Gen Zs, or as a new generation, I believe that social media has really helped us. We're no longer in the mindset of I have to go to work daily to sit down for me to earn money
in front of a computer.
Like I really don't have to do the 8 to 5 thing for me to,
or the 9 to 5.
And we and I also feel like we are outgrowing the feel of I will get rich at 50 or 40. You know, the kind of mentality that we had. Like, for you to be rich, you really need to be 40.
Or you have to suffer.
Or you have to suffer.
People are glamorizing the thing of suffering.
Yes. And they suffer first, and then you'll be rich at 50.
You see? Like, there's so many podcasts and there's so many people who have come out to say, you know what, we really don't have to suffer to have money in our pockets. We really don't have to struggle a lot to feed. And I believe that is one thing that has really helped us as a Gen Zs. You know, we really don't have to feel like I need to struggle. I need to get up every morning. Like, I can just wake up and work from home. There's so many online opportunities to work. As long as you have a laptop or a smartphone and your data. That's
and a ring light.
And a ring light.
Most importantly,
That's all you need. And life will move on.
And I actually love this generation, because if you listen from the stories from our fathers, they'll be like, in fact, the system is finish high school, go to uni, graduate, get a job, get married, do a wedding, or either come we stay, and then get children, get old, die, be buried, and rest in peace. Imagine that's the end of the story. But right now, look at what's happening.
And at the end of the day, you're not even fulfilled. You don't feel content with your life.
Exactly.
Like, there's someone who said, like, he went to school just to get the degree for the dad.
Wow.
Like, imagine. So this guy wasted a whole 4 years in school just getting a degree for the dad, and all he wanted to do was do music. Like, he would just sit down in a studio and just listen to his music and get clients. That's all. You see?
Right.
Like,
so, Sure.
Like,
go ahead.
I believe it has brought out the need for being authentic. The need for being you. You really don't have to go out of your way to prove yourself worthy of doing this and this. All you need is to learn a skill. All you need is to learn a technique, you know, to push you forward.
And just adapt to the trends now that, you know, it's a world of AI. And maybe we'll get to AI towards later on. Back to you, Sylvia. Do you believe in this day, time and age, parents need to maybe as well unplug off those filters and those blankets and the glasses they've been wearing for a very long time, where they're like, you know what, I need you to be a doctor. I need, it's a must because traditionally they'll be like, kwa hii familia sisi ni pastors, my engineers, walimu, nurses. But then, like she said, you want to be a DJ and be like Waffles and who's the dopest DJ? I believe Paris Hilton used to be a DJ way back, and she's legendary and iconic, the Hilton family. You want to pursue that line of profession because of the age and time. It will be easier. First of all, you'll be fulfilled, you'll be happier. But here you are with your guardian who says, sisi lazima uende kuwe nurse. And like amesema, you go do medicine, you finish and you say, oh, thank you, mom and dad, here are your papers. Now, let me go start auditioning at a club to be a DJ. I can only imagine, the disparity between the two. Yeah.
Okay, for me, I honestly feel like parents should be ready to, they really need to shift their mindset at this point. We're living in a different era. We're living in an era where people are going after their passion. The young people are going after what they can do effortlessly without being forced by anyone. Something that they can wake up in the middle of the night and be like, I want to do this. Yeah. I feel like parents, the boomers and all those, they were raised knowing that there are these careers. Like during the 1980s, 70s, they used to believe that being a teacher, being a teacher would land you a very... You
are being celebrated
exactly.
and decorated,
And then,
or being a nurse.
Exactly.
Or, it was big. It was
lawyer
breaking
in
news.
The village.
Yeah, breaking news. Sylvia is a nurse in this village.
I'm telling you.
Right.
So I feel like it's time that parents need to also embrace the new things that are coming. That right now, most young people are going after their passion. I've been in campus and I've seen very amazing young people indulging into drugs and all that just because they've been forced to come to campus and do a certain course which they don't like. They end up dropping out. Most of them, they end up even graduating at the end of the day, just because they were forced to be in that environment, or rather to be in that course.
To fulfill the parents' vision.
And I feel like, actually, leave alone even graduating, I've seen people who have done the courses and right now they're doing totally different things from what they did in campus. So in short,
it's working.
Exactly. And in short, it's like they wasted their 4 years in campus.
Yeah.
So parents should be ready at this point to just listen to their kids, learn their kids from when they are young, because I feel like when you have a close connection with your kid, you can clearly tell the path of their passion, and you can tell what exactly they are really passionate about. And you can try as a parent to also nurture that passion in them. By the time you get to that point where they have to choose their careers, you'll not have to struggle and fight with them. Sometimes I see the way parents want just their kids to go and pursue a certain course because they want to shtua kijiji, wanataka kufanya kijiji ishtuke just eti I have a lawyer in my house.
Yeah.
And
my daughter, my firstborn daughter is
my son.
My son. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. To fulfill that ego of, the pride of the village, the prestige.
But I do appreciate the fact that I've seen some parents supporting their kids doing even courses like music, and they're doing amazing stuff. And it's what I feel like the society right now should adopt. The same thing now, Gen Z, us, I believe by the time we have our own kids, imagine we won't force them to do like things because we want to feel proud of them. I feel like Gen Zs are embracing that thing of do what you want to do.
Yeah. Now that you brought in that do what you want to do. If you be addressing your kid, let's say your firstborn son or daughter, for instance, whoever God will bless you with first. Yeah.
Yes.
Now's that time for you to have that serious mother to daughter or mother to son moment about career. How will you address them and tell them, this is, where do you even begin so that you hear from them so that the skeleton grow and become meaningful?
Okay, as I've said, for me, I think one thing I've told myself, I'd really want to create a close connection with my kids from when they're very young, and just try and see their passion and what they really want. Okay, where their passion really lies. So from there, we'll now come and try align this with the academic qualifications. So first, I feel like I'll want to hear more from them. What exactly do they want to do or rather pursue? I feel like as much as, they might be wanting to do something that might be against my will.
Yeah.
Of course, we are just normally.
How will you react? Because I can only imagine. Yeah. How will you react? Maybe they want to be a dancer. Will that time dancing be the most lucrative, career deal? You never know. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because right now there's people who are paid a lot to dance in these choreographies. Yeah. And they are growing. They're growing.
True. Okay, now hapo pia umesema kwa dancer.
Yes,
Yeah. Or what do they call this? Whenever someone is having a birthday at a club, is it at a club or a social? There's these girls who come and they have these placards and Omandikapo birthday boy anywhere too. Your daughter wants to be that girl. I don't know how you look at her.
Okay,
like,
what I can
let me take you to church first to we pray and then we can come back.
I think what I can do there is I'd be like, I'll try to guide them like, okay, yes, it's okay, you can do that. But again, you can have something else other than dancing. You can develop another skill other than dancing. Dancing, okay. Mix, but I feel like you should just come to a mutual agreement. Don't be like you're forcing them.
Yeah.
Don't force on them.
Don't force
just
them.
try
Don't
and
project,
come to
in fact. Yeah.
a fair ground together by just having a conversation with them, advising them. Now, even if you want dancing, there's still more, like you really need to add some substance to get onto that dancing. So
and also monetary value. I believe if it's not bringing you money weekly or monthly, maybe we can rethink. I think rethinking is good, right?
Yeah.
Because you might be fixated as well as a young person. You want to be a DJ, but maybe you need to do something first to establish yourself before you venture into the space. What do you think, Grace?
True. First of all, I'll start with, I think most parents want us to live their dream.
Right.
Like you find a mom wanted to be a doctor, and because she gave birth to you earlier than expected, so she wants you to be the doctor now.
Right. What is the danger of that, by the way?
One thing is, it takes away the authenticity of that child. Like, I am not me. I am not me. I am you. I am living
I'm
you.
my mom. I'm living my mom.
Yeah, I am living mom or dad. I am
Right.
living so and so. Like, it has taken away who
The
Grace
being
is.
of you.
Yeah, it has taken away my
Right.
identity as the
True.
person. And the other danger, I feel like, it brings a lot of depression. Like, imagine yourself doing things that you never wanted to do in the first place, or getting to do it for the rest of your life just to get that coin.
And it's inspired by mom or
Amazing.
dad.
And it's
You'll be
inspired by
pissed
mom
off
or
every
dad.
day.
Imagine.
Turning up in that job. Trauma, what we've been talking about with the previous guest. Yeah.
And that is why you'd go to hospitals, I'm sorry to say, you'll find a very rude nurse, a very rude doctor.
Actually,
Why?
it's a
Because
common thing, yeah.
this thing is not their calling. They never wanted to do it in the first place. But you'll find a very kind nurse and they say, hi, how are you? How can I help you?
Yeah.
So true.
You'll feel like this person, she really wanted to do it. Like from the onset, she really wanted to.
It's like it's a calling that's on their
It's
life.
like a calling, But getting someone that to do things that they really don't want to do and have to accept it just because they have to please you is really.
Yeah.
True.
I'll use
It takes away.
Yeah, I will use the Gen Z term. It's not giving.
Yeah.
It's not
giving something. Way back we used to mention a country, but we're not going to mention it. We're a patriotic nation. Yeah, you remember? It's giving a country, with Z. Yeah. So I think it's very valid as well. So do you believe, Grace, that maybe it's some parents shift from this culture of self-projecting and like let's do away with the traditions and focus on this, because I believe, like, even they're saying right now in the country, Gen Zs are the face of the future. Yeah, the young people are the face of the future. Yeah.
That is true, but I'll have two reactions on this one. One, I believe that it is good for the parent to have time with the child, get to understand this child. What does this child want? What does this child need? What are their talents? Especially the talent thing. It really is a big thing right now. Like, people are getting paid for singing and for just doing their own thing and for just being them. There are the others who are very poor who are very poetic.
Yeah.
So you see,
Fame now can easily be acquired and makes money. Aziad in the picture.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And my other reaction would be also us as Gen Zs. At some point, I try to put myself in my mother's shoes.
Yeah.
Or try to see myself as a parent. How would I feel if my child said, "Mom, nimeenda club"? My first reaction would be like, eh? Club kufanya. You see, like that's the first reaction. You as a parent. Now leave alone you as a Gen Z or you as, but imagine yourself, you're raising a child. You want this child to be the best person they can ever be in the society, right? So I also believe that it is good for us as Gen Zs to just sit down with this parent, get to understand them, get to see their view, get to see their vision for you, and then from there you can now
you combine after brainstorming, you put two ideas together and then make a final decision.
You know, I really don't think that being how do I put it? Like I know it all. Like, you know, we really have a very bad I know it all attitude.
Yeah.
Like me siwezi ambiwa.
Right.
Mimi usini advice. Like you've heard that,
right? Actually,
Mimi
there's even songs. Me senior advice.
Me senior advice.
Me senior advice. Yeah, it's a Gen Z song, yeah.
But I believe that whoever went ahead of you knows so much more than you do. Like you sit down with a man that is 50 years old. You sit them down, you will get a thing or two from them. Right.
Yeah.
You sit down with a 10-year-old, you can get very little from them, right? The only thing you can get from, most of the things you can actually get from them is how they are just like a child, how they're honest, how they're, you know, but sit down with a 50-year-old man or a 50-year-old woman, get to see their view of life, get to understand them. It really would help us as a generation. I feel like this attitude mi usiniambie madhe ni old fashioned, madhe ako hivi na vile na vile. I believe that if they didn't know anything, you'd not have been where you are in life. Like it's some of the hard pills that we are not ready to swallow as a generation. Like we want to do our own things. We want to flow with everything. And at the end of the day, without guidance, this is why most young people get themselves into drugs, into alcohols, into whatever and whatever,
cults,
into cults that you don't even understand. We're getting to a generation where you need to have papers. True, right? You need your papers. You need to have some skills. You need to have some knowledge. You need to
be smart.
You need to be smart.
You need to be smart. Yeah.
So now try to imagine a generation that really didn't go to school or just said, "Me nataka kuwa dancer or club," and you know, at that age, you don't even know yourself.
Identity.
Yeah,
who you are.
like you really don't know who you are. You really don't understand what you want to become. When you're now 30, when you're now clock 30, you're like, oh, I wasted so much time trying to do things that
to be someone who was not meant to be.
Right. Or maybe at some point I feel like we do things to please others. Yeah.
The group mentality.
Yeah. Like my friend is doing, so I'm also doing. You know, in your vibe.
The fear of missing out.
Yeah. You know.
FOMO, right?
Yeah. So mom hajui. Mom hajui. But in the long run, just because you didn't get to sit down with this mom, or you didn't get to sit down with your dad, or that one person that always says, try to find something to better yourself. You know, try to grow yourself. Sisi hatuko huko, usini advise.
Yeah.
is the emotion.
And I think that's self-harming. It's
Very.
destructive, yeah. And it actually takes you off the tangent to, focus on your dreams. But then I'm also looking at maybe Gen Zs who maybe they because I think that what they're picking is as well from authorities. They are understanding Gen Zs to be rebellious and unruly and not, they cannot be contained. They're immoral. In fact, for the major part of this month, it's been the moral issue of Kenya has degraded, but maybe it's not. Maybe there's a slight misunderstanding because this generation is vocal. And they are speaking out. They are calling it as it is, as compared to the former that maybe they could just tone it down kidogo and say, oh, wacha tungoje article 33 nasemaje. But you guys are like, article 33 mesema na hauendi hivyo, unaenda hivi, and that comes off as being rude. But then maybe do you believe there's a slight misunderstanding as well in terms of also being hard? Even, for example, you mentioned workspaces where a boss is toxic and you point it out and they fire you. That would hinder you from, proceeding career-wise, It would.
For me, what I feel is that the fact that, Gen Zs are learned, they know these things. They have read that constitution. They know each article. So the moment you try and mislead them, they'll always call you out. So the fact that we are talking out, the fact that we are airing out our issues, makes the government feel like we are rebellious. We are a rebellious generation, which is not true. Another thing is that the few, of course, in a society, there will always be those people who, wanasemanga, in Swahili they say, kwa kila soko hakukosi mwenda wazimu. So the small number of the Gen Zs who have been seen on social media, using social media to, paint leaders in a certain manner, making those pictures of coffins, putting those leaders in those coffins. So they tend to feel like each and every Gen Z is of that type, which is not true. For me, one thing I know is that right now, if there's a generation that they're intentionally working on themselves, are Gen Zs.
Right.
I've seen people on social media, young people on social media, trying to create content more of self-development. People are working on their spiritual journey, their mental health. People are now talking about what is it called?
Career.
People are talking
personal healing from trauma. People are speaking up.
Going for these therapy sessions.
Yes.
I mean,
and it's working and it's changing.
Yes. For our parents, they were made to believe that they had to just brush it off and move on with life. Quietly. But Gen Zs are taking time to heal. Even when it comes to relationships, people are taking time to heal and work on themselves, do introspection and be like, okay, this ended like this. Okay, what was my mistake in this? How can I correct this? So if there's anything that I really love about Gen Zs, is the intentional ability that we have to work on ourselves whole-roundedly. That is spiritually, mentally, physically. People are going to gym nowadays, 5 a.m. club. People are really waking up. And like those days when you could be like, Mrs. come up, manende kufanya nini gym. But right now, people are prioritizing their physical health and fitness. So for me, I just want to advise people that they don't have to generalize all Gen Zs. There's this specific breed of Gen Zs who are ready to do things in the correct manner and achieve the best what they can do and just be the best versions of themselves.
Yes. Odhiambo Otieno says, Aspers watching, following. Thank you. That's on Facebook. Watching out Mlolongo Kimpol on X. Shine Patuna Sema watching from Ongata. Shout out to you. As we come to a close, I'm coming to you, so maybe let me distribute 2 minutes, still on Sylvia. Maybe what do you think are the limiting factors to Gen Zs in terms of maybe family setup, environmental setup, that maybe constricts their growth and personal development? Okay,
I feel like the limiting factor is the fact that we are always misunderstood. I feel like we are people who are open-minded and ready to try things. We don't have a specific formula. We don't have a specific blueprint that we want to follow. And like our parents, the way they were raised, the fact that you have to follow a specific system, in life so that you can
arrive.
arrive. Right now, most Gen Zs actually are not so much into marriage. People are not even prioritizing the thing of having kids. And now we're being misunderstood. You know, when you get a young woman who is in her early 30s, whenever she goes home, I think you saw that during the Christmas period. Exactly. people don't want to go to shags because they feel like they'll be judged wrongly. You know, maybe their goals are not aligning to that particular point of life, maybe marriage at that particular point. So they prefer first going after their dreams, maybe setting themselves well financially so that they can think about it. But for young men like you, for example, the society expects you by right now you're supposed to have 3 to 4 kids. Where
a failed marriage, a divorce,
exactly,
or one that's struggling. You know?
But I feel like right now we are more open, we are more exposed, and we know of ways that we can work on ourselves first financially, so that when the family thing comes in now, things will run smoothly.
You walk in it swiftly,
exactly,
with peace. Yeah. What do you think, Grace?
Well, I'll first react to the first question.
The limiting factors.
No, it was not about the limiting factors. The other one that you answered.
About self-growth or personal development?
No, there's okay.
I had asked what are some of the limiting factors that are preventing Gen Zs from, achieving their dreams, especially like environmental or maybe personal. Yeah.
I feel like one of them is what is it called? I feel like there's a lot of expectations from the society. Like, I expect you to be driving at 25. Where do you get that money from right now?
Yeah.
Like, if you've no job,
where you don't come from a wealthy family.
And you don't come from a wealthy family. Where do you get that job from? Where do you get that car from? You know, I feel like we're limited a lot by
the already set,
expectations by the society, and also even from ourselves. You know, there's a book I'm reading. It's called "The Mountain Is You." We self-limit ourselves. You know, we limit a lot our own selves. As in, we are our own enemies. You know, like you say, like by 25 I want to get married. By 25 I want to drive a car. And actually the worst part is the limit is always 25. Like who said?
And
who
party.
Said it must be
25 and 30. Yes.
Who said it must be 25? Like who said? Like allow yourself grow. Give yourself time. All you need is time. All you need is to invest in yourself mentally, emotionally. You need to find the right words to communicate. Oh yeah. I remember the other question. She was talking about the society calling us rebellious. I feel like we're not rebellious. I feel like all we are is, I don't want to call it bitter, but I feel like we're bitter as a generation. Like you went to school, ulieka miguu kwa maji, usome.
Yeah.
And then hakuna kazi.
Right. And then there's some laws that are being implemented that are going to potentially cut you off or delay success. Yeah.
Some of us have paid our own school fees right from campus.
Yeah.
Now imagine struggling all that and someone says hakuna kazi, hakuna job.
Let's tax content creation. Maybe we can end on Let's YouTube channel. So say your social media because it's 9:59. We have to go. Say your social media where people can get to interact with you and then Sylvia.
At TikTok, I'm at Graciela Kyoko. At IG, I am Grace Kyoko.
For me, you can find me on Instagram at sylvia.gatti, on all my social media platforms. Yes, you can find me on at sylvia.gatti.
Any one of you who's doing TikTok, like you post constantly? Grace or Sylvia, do you post daily, monthly?
Not daily, but I do create content.
Once and twice?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll go and find something there to watch. Yeah, please. Kimbiani kwa social media zao saizi kabla hujaenda. Thank you so much. We've been speaking to Sylvia Gatti. She's a journalist and plus many other things she does on socials alongside Grace Kyoko, a youth advocate. Thank you both and Happy New Year still. Mesema, I still have time for him to say, yeah?
Yes.
Right. And Happy New Year to you too for watching. As we get pissed off as we go, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow bright and early. Right here, I'm Brian Sankwa. At Brian Sankwa 1 is my social, and at Y254 channel. See you tomorrow.